In this week's episode of Seriously Fun Business TV, we look at the massively overlooked opportunity for sales in your business and talk about sending these bad boys out. Hey, how you doing? Nick James here. Welcome to episode number 35 of Seriously Fun Business TV. Woo! We're a little bit light this week, as you can see. Charlie's on holiday. Jay's at home feeling a bit under the weather. Bless him. Got a little sniffle. No.
Man flu.
Yeah. So we're a little bit light this week, but what we're lacking numbers, we're making up for in heart and energy. So in this week's episode, I thought I'd talk actually about something that has occurred to me in the this last week really, which is that I think oftentimes as business owners, as marketers, as entrepreneurs, we're always looking for the next big thing. We're always looking for, like, because of course entrepreneurs naturally, great entrepreneurs want to innovate, and there's nothing wrong with innovation. But I still think that there's quite a lot to be said for going back to basics and doing what works. Because, for example, I was talking to a client just an hour or so ago they've just run an event last week where they had, I don't remember the exact stats, but let's say for argument's sake it was a smallish event. They spent about £1,000 on Facebook ads. I think they had about 150 registrations, something like that. 30 people turned up, which isn't bad. Made 6 sales. I think they made about £3,000 for £1,000 spent. And the purpose of the call was to go, well, what next? And I, a bit flippantly, but actually seriously, went, well, just do the bloody same thing, but maybe scale it a little bit. Maybe put a little bit more budget in this time. See if you can get slightly more people registered and more in the room and improve conversion. But effectively, once you've got a formula that works, rinse, repeat, do it again, and again, and really just keep trying to consistently get the same result. Because I think often we're always trying to, entrepreneur syndrome is constantly looking for the shiny object, the new, the new software or the new thing that's going to get you more leads cheaper or going to make you more sales or anything like that. Going back to basics, man. I mean, this week, well, it wasn't this week, it was a week or so ago, it occurred to me that one of the things that I always used to do historically to get more people to attend our big events was send stuff out through the post. And it occurred to me that I think for Expert Empires in May, I don't think we did any direct mail at all. And I'd not done anything for maybe 18 months. And I was like, well, that doesn't make any sense. Like, I know it works. Why am I not doing it anymore? And the reason I'm not doing it probably is because I've got a lot of other things that I'm now doing. We do a lot of text message marketing and Facebook marketing and all sorts of other things. We've got a bigger telesales team now as well. So like we've got so many other ways of getting to people. But it doesn't cost very much at all. I mean, to give you an idea, like we sent this bad boy in the post. You want to zoom in on that? There you go. We sent this postcard out. Maybe you received it. If you're one of our former event attendees or clients, you probably received it. And it costs us about roughly 40, I think it's 42p or something, printed and delivered to get this into somebody's hand. We're sending them out. I think we sent about 1,500, something like that, went out in the post to people that had been to our events before. So these are people that have engaged with us before, attended events, been clients before. So it's not cold spamming direct mail. It's like it's actually people that are interested in what we do. And like it just doesn't make sense to me that I was confused actually at myself for not having done it sooner. And I think sometimes it's easy to get distracted by all the new fads and the new technologies and all the new things you can do. Whereas, and I'm not saying necessarily this isn't a video about direct mail necessarily. It's a video about looking back and finding out what's worked for you historically and doing more of the same. I'm all for innovation. I'm all for trying out new things and testing. We test, I'm obsessive when it comes to new tests and measuring the stats and then trying to improve everything we do. And I think sometimes we can become over obsessive with new fads and new technologies and fail to remember the basics, the things that got us where we are. So like direct mail, sending postcards, is one of the things that got me where I am. So why have I stopped doing it? Well, it doesn't make any bloody sense, does it? Getting you know, when we started, my first ever telesales person that I hired, which probably would have been about 6 years ago now, you know, and instantly, as soon as we took that person on, attendance at our events doubled. Because we'd never called people before and invited them to come to our events. So consequently, since that happened, we've scaled the telesales team up. We've now got 4 full-time people in the office doing that role, because I know that doing calling people up, doing business over the phone, I know that there are some people that won't buy online. I know there are some people that need to speak to a human being or that have questions before they go ahead. Why would you not do that? So yeah, I guess the advice I'd give you in today's video or today's episode is to look back maybe at the last 6, 12, 18 months of what you've done in your business and look at where did the majority of the results come from. Like, what email campaign did you send that got you great results? Or what webinar did you host? Or what event did you run? Or, you know, what video did you create to market your services? And a lot of times it's literally just a case of, and I'm quite lazy as well, and so sometimes it's a case of just going back into the archives, pulling something out that worked and running with it, and, you know, chances are if it worked once, it will work again. So looking back at old copy, old videos, last year, so like New Year 2016, I did a Facebook post, little short Facebook post, just saying, you know, what are your plans for this year? If you're interested in running events, if that's something you really want to do, then get in touch. I'm looking for a handful of people to work with on this basis, and there's a few details about how we work in partnership with people like that. And like instantly we got like 10, 15 responses, people that were interested in working with us. And, you know, we didn't get a huge conversion off it, but like I think we got like 2 or 3 new clients in New Year. So what did I do New Year 2017? I copied and pasted the exact same damn post. No one's going to remember the post that I did 12 months ago. Exact same post on Facebook. I don't think we got quite as many responses. I think we got like 8 or 9 maybe responses. Got a new client out of it from one Facebook post. So look back at everything you've done over the last 12, 18 months. What worked well, rinse and repeat. Just literally pull it out the archive and run the same campaign, run the same promotion. And I think you'll be surprised, pleasantly surprised, at how good results you can get with, frankly, very little effort. So I hope you enjoyed this week's episode number 35 of Seriously Fun Business TV, as much as I enjoyed making it for you, as always. If you haven't yet bought your ticket, if you're watching on Facebook Live, what is this, Facebook?
Yep.
Facebook Live, or is this Instagram? Instagram Live, and you haven't yet bought your ticket for Business Empires, 9th and 10th of November. If you're watching live, if you're watching the recording, sorry it's too late for you, but if you're watching live, then the £250 discount on tickets to attend to see Lord Sugar, myself, Rob Moore, Shah Osmond MBE, Mike Koenigs, etc, etc, the £250 discount expires at 5 PM today, which is less than 2 hours from now. So if you're watching live, you haven't bought your ticket yet, what are you waiting for? We'll put a link in the comments or something so you can go and check it out and get yourselves booked in, of course. If you are the kind of person that wants to speak to an actual human being before you go ahead, we have 3 wonderful human beings here waiting to take your call. So we have Pete, we have Sam, we have Tom, and they are waiting with bated breath to speak to you if you've got any questions about Business Empires. Yeah, call me. If you've got any questions before you go ahead, by all means, give these guys a call and they'll look after you. So hope you enjoyed today's episode, guys. Take care. See you next week.
What's the number, Nick?
What's the number? For those of you on live, before we start, we won't put this in the edit. Maybe we'll leave it.
Yeah, we will.
The phone number of the office, 0121 667 4502. That is 0121 667 4502. I do feel like I'm on the X Factor now. I should do like a, don't call after 5 o'clock, otherwise your vote will be counted, but your vote won't be counted, but you might still be charged. Anyway, thanks Instagram, thanks Facebook. See you next week.